Yeah, bro. I mean, niggas is wildin'. Niggas is wildin'. One more time, niggas is wildin'. Frieza wasn't lying. Like this whole FBA movement that's starting to overcome, um, my sanity is it's a lot, man. It's a lot. I didn't know that the FBA movement was, a psyop at this level. I didn't think black Americans, fuck it, African Americans. I didn't think a lot of African Americans were gonna fall for it. But hey, we're here. Tariq Nasheed is eating good. And yeah, I'm trying to figure out why the fuck so many black Americans just don't want to like get hip with their like history. I don't know. I mean, like, is it like a mixture of being afraid of admitting that your ancestors were possibly, the descendants of losers in a war? Or is it just like pure, unadulterated, childish, extreme, stupid retardation at levels that are almost inhumanely possible as to the reason as to why a large majority of African Americans don't want to accept their history and instead want to create a new history out of thin air, right? I mean, like, historically, right, FBA, I mean, they claim that their history is rooted in America, with Jim Crow and other historical markers to prove as to why they're, I guess, FBAs. I think it goes before. Obviously, it has to go before FBA, before Jim Crow. We're talking like natives, 1600s, 1700s. That they were descendants of that land. But my thing is like, where did you come from? Right? Like, it's not like you guys. Like, come on, bro. It's not like you're a black African, whatever, and you just originated, is that originated in the native lands of America, and that's your bondage and history, or that's your history rather, and you face no type of bondage or enslavement or whatever. That's cool. Those people are called natives. And if I'm not mistaken, Creole, right, which is a type of black person, they shared, heritage and DNA with the natives of that land, especially in Southern America, Texas and Louisiana, and those people actually could be considered FBA because their people may have not only came from bondage. They may have had maybe like an ancestor that was black, maybe they came from the boats, whatever, but also they share an ancestor that was Native American and came from the Latin lands or whatever. So unless you're like Creole, you know what I'm saying, where you can have a diversity of different heritages to where you can say, no, my people, a part of my people, or part of me, which is my people, they were able to be foundationally black in this country because they came from here. And technically, the only foundational blacks are Native Americans because they resemble our skin tone. But I feel like that's the only way you can come out and say like, yo, I'm FBA. Are you native, my nigga? No, then shut your bitch ass up. What you talking about? So yeah, like, different cultural identities too. I feel as though like you have the ADOS and then you have the FBA. ADOS, African descendants of slavery, and FBA, foundationally black Americans. Now, ADOS is funny because they accept their history, they accept their truth, they understand, what it is, but you don't really hear a lot of ADOS in the black American, or rather in the black diaspora on the internet. You hear a lot of FBA because ADOS is common sense, right? And I've noticed a lot of things that are commonsensical you don't hear about in the media or social media in general or online and different communities and whatsoever, because like arguing about stupid shit is lit. So it's like with ADOS, obviously they're on the right side of history, but they're put on the back burner. Nobody cares about ADOS. Nobody really talks about ADOS because FBA The nonsensical approach is what gets the views. It's what gets the people going, right? And I think, truth be told, I truthfully believe that FBA has to be Mossad honeypot operation. Maybe not honeypot, because what would Mossad be doing with these dumbass niggas? But I do believe that people like Tariq Nasheed, and I mean that's literally it. Like, is there another FBA nigga that's making moves that has his name out there, that that got his dick wet in the media? Nah, I think Tariq Nasheed is the only nigga that actually got money from doing the whole FBA grift. So that's that. Yeah, man, I don't know. I feel like there's also a lot of misunderstandings, about attentions and activism, primarily between the Pan-Africanism movement and FBA. I think with ADOS, I truthfully believe, like, ADOS, like, you niggas are cool. I don't really hear a lot of crazy shit about y'all. I really do wish y'all could talk to your FBA brothers and sisters and whatever the fuck you want to call them, and just like if they gotta catch the fade, then they have to catch the fade. But I think a lot of misunderstanding is what's destroying the dysphoria, and a lot of that misunderstanding. There's misunderstanding on both sides. Don't get it twisted. There's Africans as a whole. I'm only gonna speak about Africans because I share a Nigerian parent on top of sharing a Nigerian parent. I don't really want to speak about, like, Latin Americans and Caribbeans like that, because, not to say they're not my people, we're all one. I'm a Pan-Africanist, by the way. We're all one, but in order for me to give a deep dive as to why I feel there's a lot of miscommunication, I got to speak on my African roots. So, and I think Godfrey did, like, a very good job at, like, showing it on this podcast, like, the types of, like, education we were brought up, or rather the types of media and education that we saw about Black Americans being brought up. Mind you, I'm not Black American, whatever. I was born in America, wasn't born anywhere else. But yeah, I mean, we all remember those, fucking, what were the AIDS or, like, EpiLife commercials with, like, the starving Black kids with the beach ball stomachs and shit. Like, I mean, like, we all saw that. And mind you, I remember going to some of my going to some of my Nigerian aunties and uncles' cribs, and we would watch, old Nollywood movies. And then, like, in the Nollywood movies, the way that they would portray Black Americans was just so 21 Jump Street. It was like, bro, what the fuck? This shit's funny. But it just goes to show, like, how, like, both sides have a negative way of portraying each other, whether it's for comic relief or whether it's just, what they see in Hollywood, they just replicate, whatever. But that's our problem. Our problem is that we truthfully like to categorize a whole group of people that look like us, categorize them as, oh, they're just Nigerian African booty scratchers, or they're akata, they're just dumb, lazy people. And it's like, what's the history behind that? Right? Like why is it that Black Americans are seen as dumb and lazy? Like why is that? Obviously, like, if you want to compare, like, kid or teens in impoverished areas or in the hood sitting around gas stations not doing shit all day, sure, cool, they're dumb and lazy. But I don't think that's the average Black American. I don't think that's the average African American. Nor do I think the average Nigerian, right, is a nigga with a beach ball stomach starving to death. I don't think that. But that's what the media wants you to think of us. Why is that? Why is miscommunication a big problem in the dysphoria? Also, I feel like another thing that I want to touch up on is the immigration and economic tensions between just Africans as a whole in the diaspora and African Americans, right? Competition for resources, jobs, scholarships, political attention. That all creates friction. That all creates problems. Problems that I would say doesn't go away overnight. But communication is the only way that these problems can be handled, right? I mean, like, you see the Indians, right? Indians, you see what they're doing in Canada? They're, in about 20 years, them niggas are gonna take over Canada. All right? Them Indian niggas, them niggas is finna take over Canada, all right? We can be on the same type of quip too. I just don't know why black people don't want to work together. It's so fucking stupid and weird. Like, you see what Indians are doing in Canada. I mean, like, we can be on the same time. I mean, we see what the Jews have done in America. We don't have to talk about that. But, you know, like, Canada, you know, is doing pretty good, and, you know, for the most part. And it's like, us Africans, black people, etc., like, we always compete against each other and never collectively come to a coalition. We never fucking do that. We always compete. We got that warrior gene, bro. Like, I don't know if Django was onto some shit, but, like, bro, like, it's like all of us want to be that Mandingo. And it's like, bro, only one of us is going to have a 12-inch penis. Okay? And live to tell the tale. So that's that. You know, and then, like, also with the different views on immigration, you know, a lot of FBA activists, they feel very strong about immigration, and they feel that immigration dilutes their political wants and needs. And I'm here to tell you, brother, that I'm black, the same way you're black. What you want, I more than likely want the same thing too. Unless you want white supremacists, and by white supremacists, I mean Christian Zionists, unless you want them to continuously keep running the world and running the nation to the dirt, we want the same thing. Whether I'm Zimbabwean, Nigerian, Cameroonian, Caribbean, African American, we all realistically want the same shit. So yeah, I think I'm gonna talk on this a little bit more, but I think, like, the problems with the FBA is just so overblown. It's so fucking stupid. A lot of FBA niggas, I truthfully believe they're honeypot operatives. I believe they're Mossad, they're CIA. I don't think they exist. I think they're code. I think if you're an actual African American that's proud of your heritage and history, you would be ADOS, or you wouldn't even be talking about this monkey shit. So yeah, I do believe that the FBA is an evil Mossad operation that's used to destroy Pan-Africanists and the Pan-Africanism movement. And the only way us black people, who, if I'm not mistaken, West Sub-Saharan Africans are the third most populous race of people in the world. Just right, we're literally just right below the Han and Indians. If we can just get together, bro, and be on some fucking, fuck it, bro, on some, like, just on some real shit, right? Like, just on some, like, unification. On some Malcolm timing, right? Not no Martin, on some Malcolm timing, bro, the world's gonna be ours. The world's gonna be fucking ours, bro.